what you say. But yeah. Anyway, he's a Satanist, right? At least that's what he said. So I was thinking one time, I was like, man, give me an opportunity to kind of talk to him and see what's going on. So I asked him, I said, well, hey man, I said, so tell me, how did you become a Satanist? What drew you to it? You know, just to kind of get some understanding. I said, were your parents or family? He was like, no. He goes, you know how he is. He's like, I just thought it was hilt. You know, I guess that just means cool. Have you guys heard that term before? Hilt. But I guess it just means, cool. At the top. And I was like, well, tell me about it. What's the teachings? I mean, what is it? And he said, I said, did you listen to? I know a little bit about the occult. So I was like, well, did you listen to Aleister Crowley, read some of his stuff? He's like, who's that? He goes, no, I really listened to this other guy. I read this other guy's stuff. And he says in his book, the basic premise is, respect others and everything. He says, but if somebody does you wrong, you destroy them. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah, you destroy them. I was like, wow. I said, man, I trust me, I get that, and I get the attraction to that, because when I was young, I mean real young, I didn't tell him that though, I kind of thought that. I said, but life experience shows me that doesn't work. I said, you look at all the gang violence that happened in the 90s, the reason why there were mass shootings and people killing people, a bunch of innocent people, all hatred does is breed more hatred. I said, so the only way you beat any of that is to love. I said, look at it. Easiest example I can think of is Martin Luther King. How he chose to love in spite of. And I told him the saying I always like to say, love conquers hate. But you got to be willing to love while you're being hated. And I said that's what he did. If they had went Malcolm X's way, which was fight back and everything, they would have been annihilated. But the only way you ever accomplish real change is to fight it the right way. And so, that's really all I have. And if we got one more second, I'll tell one more little quick story. But I think I shared some of this with some of the people while we were at lunch one time. But, anger is a natural thing, okay? And it's a natural emotion that's even God created in us, but it's supposed to be used the right way, okay? And I remember I was we were at this real fancy restaurant in Dallas. It was expensive steak restaurant. My parents hooked us up, so it was nice. But anyway, there was this lady, and my son was kind of banging his fork a little bit, and there was this lady across the way, and she was just mean mugging my son. Just looking. It was like a look of pure hatred, right? But I thought she was just going to joke, and once she really got his attention, she was going to be like, "Now we shouldn't do that," and kind of laugh it off, because that's what normal people do, right? And so I was waiting for it, and I didn't say anything, and she never did that. And I was just hurt, and I was just like, and my instinct, which I'm glad I didn't act on it, because luckily I didn't, but my instinct was to say to go, because she was with her husband or whatever, I was like, dude, look, you need to check your woman, because she's writing checks that your butt can't cash. That's what I wanted to say, and that was so wrong, and I thank God, and I'm just going to be open, that was my fault, but you know what, I didn't act on it, I thank God. So I pondered it later, and I was just like, man, but I felt so bad for my kid because I didn't stick up for him. And that's what anger is really for us to do, but it's to protect. And so where it says right here, it says, repay no one evil for evil, but give thought to do what is honorable in the sight of all. So what I should have done, I should have honored my son by addressing it, but I should have responded in love. Our response should always be in love. So what I should have done, and if I had hindsight to do it, because later I talked to my son, I said, look, man, I'm so sorry. I didn't know she was going to be mean like that, and I will never let anyone treat you like that and not do anything about it. My daughter was like, well, then why did you? And that hurt me even worse. I was like, honey, I didn't know she was going to do that. I thought she was going to say, I thought she was going to joke with him and be funny, but she didn't, And I said, son, I'm so sorry. If I had to go over again, I would have handled it, and I would have talked to her about it. And what my response would have been, I would have been like, excuse me, ma'am, I know that my son was being loud. I said, but if you have a problem with what he's doing, you come and you talk to me, and I'll resolve it with my son. But that is totally uncalled for, and that's not acceptable, and just try to be peaceful and to be kind, but also bring correction. So in all that we do, we need to make sure that's done honorable before all, and show love and be respectful, but we don't let people run over us necessarily, but we also have to do it all in love. So that's all I got.